With AI on the rise in society and with the risk of being replaced by robots, that begs the question, is print on demand going to be worth it as a total beginner in 2025? That's what we'll talk about in today's video. If you're new here, my name is Andreas. I've done over $1 million in revenue in less than 3 years as an Etsy print on demand seller from Sweden. In that same time frame, I've also done about $240,000 in revenue on Amazon Merch on Demand as a side gig from Etsy. So the first thing that I want to touch on is AI. I think that people will be able to prompt and make as many designs as fast as they need, but if they don't know the hard-earned skills with POD, they won't get anywhere anyways. So how I basically see all of this whole AI stuff is that it's a tool, and if you can use this tool efficiently, then it won't make any difference in like actually making good designs that people want. I've seen so many different like listings on Etsy that are using AI, but they're not selling much at all, and mainly because it feels like some shops that do this just take a shortcut to try and like put designs up that has no bearing in research in what people actually want and not getting sales because of it. I think you can use AI as a great tool if you know how to actually garner sales in print on demand. Just like Canva is a tool, AI will be a tool within this whole thing. I think that AI will be a great lever for someone who knows how to actually do POD. I think it can be a detriment to someone who actually doesn't know POD if they think that it's a shortcut to actually make great designs, because the great designs is always going to be based out of research, not any shortcut. Another thing that I hear a lot is that the print on demand market is super saturated. What saturation basically means is that you have a lot more sellers, but you always have a lot more buyers. So in my opinion, saturation, it means that there's more proven demand. You can always stand out in the niche itself and in the whole market if you just come with a great value proposition. Like if you have a really good design on a really great offer, then you can always stand out in your store and with your listing to actually garner sales. So in my opinion, saturation just equals proven demand. In all the honesty, there will always be more consumers than there are actually like creators. So if you're one of the few ones that actually create, there will always be more buyers than creators. You just have to make sure that the thing that you provide to the platform is really good, so that you can actually make your way with the creation that you actually create to the platform. As long as you approach this in a more commercial sense, that you take things that work here, like in design ways, and things that work here, and then just combine these type of different elements into something new, then you can always stand out and provide good value to the marketplace because you're basing all decisions out of data. Another huge thing that I think is really important to know about is market growth. So if we just take a look at some statistics here, we're here in 2024. The market is growing about 25% year on year, and which is insanely huge. So we're basically here in the baby stages of print on demand. I mean, this is basically like 5 years ago, it was really small in 2019. So we're still in the baby stages of print on demand. It will be a lot bigger than it is today in 2031, for instance. And one of the best things about this is that the more that the market grows, the more new products is gonna come up that we can just apply to print on demand, and we can basically just be innovative by growing with the overall thing that is print on demand. So that is a huge indicator that this whole thing with print on demand is just gonna grow bigger and bigger each year. So if we're gonna summarize this, is print on demand gonna be worth it in 2025? I highly think so, and I really preach it because I have the results from it. That one of the best things when it comes to print on demand is that it's such a low cost to start. It mainly takes a lot of time to learn how to actually get good at the business, like how to do research, how to make great designs, how to make a grand slam offer on Etsy, for instance. And all of these just takes time to learn. You can really just learn one thing at a time. I think it's because of the low cost, it's a huge opportunity to still take part of in 2025. But another big thing, as I just mentioned, is the market growth. It's gonna get bigger and bigger, and there's gonna be more demand for it as time goes on. And the market is growing 25% year on year. So just by that metric, it's a great indicator to just hop in now, because we're still in the baby stages of it. Third thing that I think is a big reason on why it's worth it in 2025 is because of skill stacking. What I noticed, for instance, now when I started YouTube, is that when I learned Etsy and how to do SEO on Etsy, how thumbnails work on Etsy, all of that stuff applies to YouTube. Another thing that's really important, I do music a lot too, and learning that you have to make a ton of designs, and learning how to find proven improving thumbnails. That really applies to do content for music too, like seeing what type of music content actually will work. The last thing that I think is really important, that's from what it's given me, is that it's given me a lot of financial security. It took a long time to get there, but I mean, in just the last 2 years, I've garnered multiple 6 figures in profits on it through Etsy, and I also do merch on demand, Amazon merch on demand. So I like just that part in and of itself has given me a lot of like yeah, it just makes me financially relaxed, so to speak. I'm definitely not financially free by any means. It makes me financially relaxed, so to speak, and as I don't have to worry like insanely much or super much about money, so to speak. That is a huge thing, but I think print on demand is going to be super worth it in 2025. Anyhow, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.